Okay, baby. This is John's lasagna. Just heating up the oil, ready to fry the onions.
That is the own version of lasagna from Mr. John Wise. Can hear it.
Okay. Oil's heating up. Gonna put in my onions. Hear them sizzle. That means the oil's warm enough. And what the best the cooks do, I make a good lasagna. My onions are nearly ready. Just about ready. Gonna put in the mushrooms. Meantime, I've got the mince ready to go in. The meat, I'm going to break up on my hand so it doesn't go too lumpy. Mix it up, stir it in, don't too much at once. Give it a chance to mix. Wash it, because that'll go in the recycling. And the mince is in, up, bit on the edge, stir it, chopping board, put it in the sink ready to wash. Mince, as you say, absorbs all the oil, but this is a low fat mince we're using, it's only 5% fat. So better for your health. The lower the fat the mince you can use, the better for you. I always try to cook with low fat products. Right, the mince and the onions and mushrooms are ready cooked. Now I'm going to add some herbs. Here on the tray, oh, it's a bit dry, but we've got some fresh basil. Just going to chop it roughly. Doesn't have to be too fine. Just make sure you don't any stalks. You don't have any stalks in it. And sometimes basil starts to flower. You don't want the flowers. Just chop it roughly and add it. When it's satisfied, it's chopped enough. Then add it to your mince and mixture and stir in. But I need a few other herbs. I haven't got any more fresh herbs, unfortunately it's winter time. My herbs are past it in the garden, so I'll find some more. Okay, we're going to add some mixed herbs, which are dried herbs, but they still have a good flavour. So take the lid off and then pour a decent quantity in. That will flavour it. There we are. Stir them in. Oh, I can smell them. I can smell the herbs there. They are beautiful. We'll add some salt. The salt is sea salt. I like sea salt. Not too much because I don't like a lot of salt in my food. I love my food very salty. Then I want some pepper. There we are. Nice ground black pepper. And that, I like my pepper, so probably quite a bit of pepper for me. Not always to your flavour, but if you don't like too much pepper, you can put less on the meat. I like it. Right, final two ingredients on the filling is chopped tomatoes. Lovely chopped tomatoes. Pour them in. Stir it. Don't forget to wash your tin out and put it in the recycling. Stirring them in. We still want a bit more tomato to it, so we can add some passata sauce, which is a lovely thick tomato sauce. Find my scissors. Here we are. Cut that off.
What is the difference?
Add the passata. Well, the tomatoes are more for lumps. There's not a great deal of tomato sauce in them. And this adds the tomato sauce for your lasagna. In a lasagna, I like the lasagna has lots of tomato flavouring, and the passata gives it a lovely colour. Look at that now. Look how lovely and red it is. That is a perfect filling for your lasagna. Full of herbs with mushrooms. You don't have to put mushrooms in, but I like mushrooms.
I like lots of mushrooms.
I like mushrooms in my cooking. I love mushrooms. I think they're a very good thing.
Why you didn't put all of these?
I didn't need them all there. Some spare. I don't want too much mushrooms. Some spare for another day. Now I'm just going to bring this to the boil and let it simmer for a little bit. And then we will start on the cheese sauce. Because when you're making lasagna, you layer it first with this, then you put the lasagna sheets. These are egg lasagna sheets, so these are soft. They're not hard like you buy dried lasagna sheets. These are soft. Right, next I'm going to make the sauce. It's up to you. Some people like a white sauce in lasagna. I like a cheese sauce. I'm going to make you a simple cheese sauce. I'm not an expert, but this is my way of cooking it. Okay, some butter, British butter. As I say, I don't particularly like salt, so it's unsalted butter I'm using. Open the packet. Half a block of butter, which is what? I've got to look at what it is. 250 grams, so I'm going to use about 125 grams of butter. There, sliced it, take it out of the packet, further slice it, pan, put the pan on to heat up, warm up my meat, some of the bolognese sauce is ready to add to it. Butter I'm going to add to the pan. Just keep it till the butter is melting. Butter is melting nicely. Ready for the next part. I've got plain flour, which I'm going to add to the butter. That is to make the base of the sauce. And that is what, when I add milk, will thicken to make the sauce. And that is where the important part. You need a whisk ready for that, because you have to keep it moving, because the sauce will burn so easily if you don't keep it moving. That's better than a spatula. The whisk is better to keep it moving. Right, my butter is melted, so now I'm going to add my flour. I don't do weights, I do it on visual effect. It's up to you, you can weigh it, you can look up a recipe that weighs it, but I tend not to. I have my whisk now. I'm going to mix with the flour. And basically, it should go, when it's mixed, like a very thick paste. It shouldn't be runny, shouldn't be too thick. This is the way I like to do it. See how that's gone? It's gone very thick. That is a good amount of flour to me in my personal sauces. Right. Now obviously I don't want to burn it, but next I need my milk. I need to add my milk. I need to add a little bit to start with. Don't add too much milk, because you need to stir it in well. Mix it in mixing it in. It will go thick. If it starts going thick, add some more milk. Just keep adding your milk, keep stirring it. Don't worry about your cookie, you're going to have to wash it afterwards because it makes a mess when you're stirring it. A bit like a double cream when you've made it. I'm going to add the cheese and that will thicken it up a little bit more. More milk, just starting to thicken up. You bring it to the boil. This is where you have to be so careful. When you're bringing your sauce, your white sauce, or what's going to become a cheese sauce, you have to be careful. You stir it all the time because it will burn so easily. That's why I'm stirring it all the time. I'm also using a non-stick pan, which is much easier than a normal pan. Right, my sauce is nearly ready. As I say, keep stirring it, keep stopping because you're going to bring it to the boil before your sauce will be fine. It will thicken. When it comes to boil, it will thicken up more. But when it comes to the boil of my sauce, I will stir till I think it's ready, but then I will add the cheese. It's thickening all the time as it's heating. You can feel it getting thicker. If you think it's getting a little bit too thick, add a touch more milk at this stage. Keep it stirring, but stop every now and again to see when the bubbles come through, because the bubbles tend not to come through when you stir it. So you're not quite sure when it's ready to boil. It's not quite there yet, and it's not bubbling, and it's very close. You feel it thickening up, and that now like a very thick double cream, which is how I like my sauce and my lasagna. It's starting to bubble now, you see. It's just starting to bubble. So now I know it's ready to add my cheese. Now this cheese I'm using is grated mature. Whatever cheese you like, you can actually grate it yourself. It can be slightly lazy. This is a lovely cheese and it's already grated, so you haven't got to do it for yourself. So I'm now going to add my cheese. This bag is good because it self-seals. There it is. Tip it in. I'm going to tip about 3/4 of it in. You've been stirring your milk and your flour and your butter. There's no lumps, because the last thing you want is a sauce that's full of lumps. And it's all about stirring it. And constantly you've got to stir it. Stirring with a whisk is the best thing to prevent lumps. Look at that, that's really gone in. The cheese is now melted. In the meantime, I've heated the oven. I've heated my oven up to gas mark 6. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. If you've got electric oven, I'm not 100% sure. You may have to find what I always do in gas mark 6 because I cook on gas. Right, that is ready. That cheese sauce is ready, so I'm going to turn that off now so it doesn't heat. There, I've got my thing. I'm going to do my thing in. That's a Pyrex thing. So first of all, I'm going to add my meat part of it. Now the meat part, you need enough to cover the bottom of it. A nice layer of meat on the bottom of your lasagna. That's how I do it. Next, I need my lasagna sheets. You see these lasagna sheets, as I say, this is fresh egg lasagna. So as you see, it's soft, it's not hard, it's not brittle. I'll lay it on there, and in the meantime, I will have a pair of scissors. And I will actually cut it to fit. Actually cut parts of it, cut it off. A slight angle on the corner because the corner is rounded. But it will take more than one sheet, so another sheet I will use to fill in the pieces. You put another layer of the cheese sauce on it. Gently push it down because you don't want it to move on the sides. Just to finish it off, what I do before I put it in the oven, I like to get cheese and I like to sprinkle cheese over the top so it has a lovely, lovely crusty top when it cooks. Make sure you get plenty to cover it. Don't be mean. 250 grams of grated cheddar does the sauce and it does the top. When you're happy with that, because that cheese on top will melt lovely across the top of it. When you're happy, it's all covered. There you are. It's ready now to go in the oven, which as I said is done at gas mark 6, and it will cook for 30 to 35 minutes. Best piece of advice is put some foil across the bottom of the oven, because that just heats it possibly will bubble over, and then as it bubbles over, you have some foil in the bottom of the oven. That will keep the bottom of the oven clean. There we are. I will now show you the finished product when it's ready. There we are, finally all cooked. A simple lasagna.